learning diagonal stitch holding. This stitch is very similar to bayou stitch. It stems from the same concept of holding down longer sections of satin stitch so they're nicely secure. But this particular version comes from Japanese embroidery traditions. It's specifically meant to be an almost invisible version of this securing method, something that will blend into the background rather than being a colorful, creative design choice. As we did last time, we'll start by satin stitching the entire section, and this time you'll definitely want to use regular satin stitch, packing those threads together with no gaps in between. Now, because the point is to create a somewhat seamless overall look, you don't want to change colors for the crossing threads. We're going to be stitching the evenly spaced lines on a diagonal, and we're trying to match that diagonal angle to the twist in the fibers of the thread. Yep, it's that particular. With some thread types, it might be harder to see the angle of that twist, but I'm using pearl cotton, so it's pretty obvious. The closer your crossing threads mimic that twist angle, the more they'll blend in, so really take your time as you add these stitches over the top. And finally, we have to add our couching stitches. We're still in the same color, and we're going to go back to the direction of the ground threads, couching over those crossing threads at even intervals. You'll also want to make these couching stitches fairly long. It seems counterintuitive, like if you want a stitch to be almost invisible, wouldn't you make it as small as possible? But a smaller couching stitch will cause the threads underneath to sort of pucker together, and it'll actually be much more noticeable. On the other hand, longer couching stitches, done in the exact same direction as those underneath, will be more likely to blend seamlessly into the background. And that's our diagonal stitch holding. Once again, I'll add a black stem stitch outline to the section. I like using black to outline this sampler because there are so many bright colors inside the sections. It gives a sort of coloring book look to the final piece. On the other hand, it can look really clean to outline each section in a color that coordinates with the design inside, particularly when there's only one color inside, like with this section. And we're done!